Welcome back. More kids and teachers are heading back to school Tuesday. And of course, parents want their kids to be safe at school. But unfortunately, in today's world, we know that's not always the case. Wisconsin has $100 million for school safety grants, money allocated after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, left 17 people dead. Glenn Rayberg with the Department of Justice is in charge of those grants, and he's joining us now on Upfront. Thank you for being here. I know back to school is a busy time.
Happy to be here.
What should parents, students expect when they walk into school when it comes to safety? What will they see that's different this year?
Well, I know that a lot of schools have been taking incredible steps over the summer to really make their students and staff and buildings safe. Some of the things that local teachers and students might see are physical security improvements like entrance vestibules, or new camera systems, or visitor check-in procedures where visitors are checked against a known database. There are also a lot of important training issues that schools have been involved with over the summer. So they've been involved with things like mental health training, school safety intervention team training to assess student behaviors that could be concerning and how to get that student additional help or steer them onto a different course, and related things that we've been working on initiatives in the Office of School Safety.
You've been having teacher trainings all summer long. What have you made sure that your teachers know?
Well, our director, Kristen Devitt, is a specialist in adolescent mental health and works for the National Association of School Resource Officers, or rather is certified by them. And so she's been teaching adolescent mental health courses to faculty all over the state through the whole summer. Other staff members, such as Sue Whitstone, Aaron Armbrust, and I have been teaching threat assessment courses. So that allows staff to say, hey, we have concerning behavior, maybe not potentially overtly violent, but the student is struggling in these ways, and some of these indicators might be similar to what we saw in things like Parkland. So how can we evaluate whether this student is in crisis, and how can we get more help for that student to steer them onto a different path and thereby increase the security of the school?
And so there's a big focus on mental health. And I know also some students are getting these active shooter drills. So they're really participating in these drills. You know, I had a tornado drill growing up. This is their thing that they participate in. How do you make sure that that doesn't scare them?
Well, and that is a concern that educators have brought to us, saying we're worried that these drills could potentially be traumatic. And it is important that these drills are done properly. But when you think back to your fire drill, that wasn't a super traumatic event generally in your educational history. When they did the fire drill, they didn't fill the corridors with smoke and have red lights flashing, simulating flames or anything like that. And those things aren't really necessary in anti-violence drills. Done properly, the National Association of School Psychologists has pointed out that these drills are necessary and not traumatic, but it is important that they're done properly. Back in my day, we did the nuclear war drills where you hid under your desk, and I was never super concerned that we were going to get nuked. There was never a bright flash out the window when we did the drill, right? And it's the same thing with the anti-violence drills. They can be done in a calm manner, just to teach the procedures and policies that need to be reviewed and practiced, and that practice is important, but they don't and shouldn't be traumatic to the students or staff.
You have a law enforcement background, and so going into the school year, what would you say is your biggest concern? Is it these mass shootings that we hear about, or is it something different with school safety? Well,
schools are really the safest places for kids to be, and the goal and mission of the Office of School Safety is just to make them more safe than they already are. The media plays a lot of active shooter stories and really portrays that as something to be of real concern. And we do need to be prepared for it, just like we need to be prepared for fires or lightning storms or any number.
You have 17 people killed at a school. I'd say that's concerning.
Oh, it is. It is. But what we're trying to do is take an all hazards approach in the Office of School Safety. Not only do we want to deal with mass violence, but we want to deal with some of the violence that can happen even on a unfortunately common basis that don't involve mass casualties. We want to help prepare schools for predictable emergencies. For example, One of the things we promote is incident command training and a way to deal with crisis and reunify students with parents after a crisis happens. And that hasn't been needed in Wisconsin this year, or pardon me, the last school year, for any violence-related matter that I'm aware of, but it was needed in Sun Prairie when a school had a gas leak. So a lot of the things we're trying to promote in the emergency management and crisis containment have a lot of crossover into more common school emergencies.
More day-to-day things.
That's correct.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Next, the race to replace Sean Duffy. Who's contemplating a run?